Good morning, everybody. Welcome to BVTV. It is our absolute pleasure to bring you the grand final of Division 1 for the 𝗣𝗁 Melbourne Pennant competition, Metropolitan Melbourne here. My name's Tony Sherwell. I am very happy to be joined by Lloyd Yacarino. Morning, Lloyd.
Good morning, Tony. How are you?
I am going pretty well, mate.
Are you ready for a big game?
I am, and I tell you, I had the pleasure of going out to 𝗍𝗁 yesterday to watch these two win their matches yesterday to make it through to today, and they were both very, very good. So looking forward to seeing a great standard here today.
Correct me if I'm wrong, they both won quite convincingly in the end, didn't they? I think
they did, yeah. And no disrespect to their opponents, but they did have pretty good days. Lilydale and Essendon was level about halfway through that match, and then Essendon just found a way to grow. And Moonee Valley had a good day against 𝗣𝗿𝘁. 𝗣𝗿𝘁 tried as hard as they could, but Moonee Valley proved to be incredibly strong, which will be no surprise to anyone who's watched them. In fact, they accounted for Dandenong Club, which is our host venue today, last weekend as well in similar convincing fashion. So fun times yesterday out at 𝗍𝗁, and I'm sure that will continue today. You hear a bit of noise in the background. They are up and about, these two teams.
Well, I think that's what we'll expect today. A lot of noise, a lot of energy. The Moonee Valley side with an average age of 27, Tony. What do you reckon about that?
Unbelievable. And looking around, though, you can see, and talking to some people yesterday out at 𝗍𝗁, many of these players went through the state program as juniors. So very familiar to people who've been watching bowls for a long time. So this is literally bowl one, end one right here. We've just had a roll up. Of course, the live stream rink will be 𝗣𝗁 skipping for Essendon against Nathan Lynch skipping for Moonee Valley. And the noise is also up and about early.
Yeah, what a start from the young... is it Blake?
Blake Andrews using an Aero Evolve, white and purple colour, size 3.5. He's up against Paul Williamson using a Taylor Redline.
Well, of course, Paul Williamson, very, very experienced bowler. I mean, he's still quite young in age, but his experience, I think, goes for over 20 years. And this will be a fascinating matchup as we see the first two bowlers going with inside the mat length, Tony. I think we've just started this game.
We certainly have. Good for the confidence early for Paul. Just a little toucher with bowl one. Easy game, this. Of course, Paul is part of the reigning Australian fours winning team with 𝗣𝗁 and Torridale Shannon.
Correct. I think that regional game, I actually commentated that one at Sunbury, Tony, and they were a very formidable force, went on to win it all. So
they did.
These guys know how to play together, and this is going to be a real challenge for Moonee Valley on this rink. Nathan Lynch, very, very accomplished bowler, but this Essendon rink is very fine-tuned.
Now, the fourth member of that team was Brad Willoughby, who's skipping the rink next door. He's up against Michael Sims from Moonee Valley. Next rink over is Taylor Mail, representing Essendon Bowls Club. He's up against Brad Gibson. And in between all those is McMullen v Fisher. Some good matches everywhere.
Oh, they're four outstanding games. I think with almost all of those skips, they'd almost walk into any Premier Division side as, that's a good start as well there. So it is going to be a ripping game. Both these teams now have qualified for the reserves in Premier.
Correct.
Winner of today takes on your Fitzroy Victoria.
Next Friday night, so we're looking at a venue for that, and we'll be aiming to live stream that one as well. That promises to be another corker of a match.
It just doesn't get better.
We've got to get through this one first, and of course later today, the Premier Division Grand Final, which has a scheduled time of about 4:30, but we'll see
what's going on.
Whether that might be a little earlier or a little later, depending on this match. But
well, look, I mean, the facilities here at Dandenong Club are world class, and if you aren't having a barbecue before the public holiday and watching the live stream, you'd want to get down to Dandenong, I think, Tony.
Absolutely. It's got everything you could possibly want, this club. And very pleased to be under the roof today. A little bit of drizzle forecast.
Yep. And the conditions are actually very pleasant. I think you said to me earlier, I'm not sure whether it's hot and cold, and that's kind of the feeling you get. It's just very pleasant temperature in here, which means good bowls. It
does. So that was Will Code we just saw on the mat. He's using an aerodynamic, red and black. Kind of works for the Essendon colours, size 3.
Yeah, I really liked his first bowl there, Tony. I think that, we talk about owning the rink. That bowl just a yard behind. They've got the shot, so the Moonee Valley boys will certainly be confident at this, but need to be a little bit careful with the way they play because that code bowl's just catching. So
that is true. Good to see some people in the comments early. What a match, says Sarah Roger. Absolutely. This one and the next one coming up. Morning, Ray Pretty. Morning, Buzz.
Buzz.
Ken is watching from Alexandra. And Dono's in the chat as well. So morning, everybody.
Here comes Braden Ellis, of course. Braden's first year at Moonee Valley this year. Played at Ivanhoe last year. Played for a number of years. Represented the region last year. So one that kind of came through a smaller club in the Yarra region, now is playing for Moonee Valley.
Yep.
Gives a lot of stability as third to this rink, I think.
Yeah, he does. He was very good yesterday too, Braden. Got the zinc cream on under the roof.
Well, the rays come through the sides, Tony.
They do.
You've got to be aware of that.
They certainly do.
And of course, 40 teams vied for this Division 1 title. Started off with 40. It's down to 2. That's not a bad effort to get all the way to this game, let alone...
Absolutely. 40 very good teams too. We saw some finals yesterday, which we're not talking about, are we, Lloyd?
No,
we're not talking about those.
We'll forget that one. No, look, we played Dandenong Club, our hosts, and they weren't very hospitable to us yesterday. They were far too good, but... As we've seen, got a great shot there by Thor. It's been a great season, Division 1. I think it's been a really high quality, and it bodes well for Premier Reserve.
Yep, absolutely correct. So that was Torridale Shannon. He's using a Taylor SRV yellow, size 3, and also has a toucher with his first, so using them pretty well.
Yeah, look, I mean, he did represent Brighton in the VBL, played out all our singles, played in the lead position prominently, so he's a very, very strong draw bowler, and he loves the indoor greens. So
he does.
He's going to be a player to watch, I think, in this game.
When he gets dialed in, he is very hard to stop.
Yeah. Moment now, these early ends, I think across the board the standard's been pretty good, Tony. As I flick my eyes across, there's a lot of good bowls going down.
There certainly are. Green's pretty good here. We're using the middle 4 rinks, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Not a huge amount of wind or anything that's going to affect anybody at this stage of the morning anyway, so looks like we're in for a cracker of a match. Morning, Jan Morton. Very much looking forward to this. Mickey West is there. Morning, Rob Miller.
Morning.
G. Stewart says the Valley's going to be hard to beat.
So who is your tip for today?
I think the Valley, having watched them both yesterday, it's not far off a coin toss, I've got to say. But if I've got to pick one, I'm going to pick the Valley.
Yep.
But I'm not expecting there to be much in it either way.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I am going to go for Essendon. I mean, we've actually played Essendon three times this year, and each time they kind of got a hold of us. So I know how good they are. I know. Played the finals with Disco Aaron Wilson, and he spoke about the early ends and getting off to a flyer and putting some scoreboard pressure on the opponent. And I think that's what Essendon is going to try and do, is get off to that real big start, get a few shots ahead, and see if they can't break up the game from the start.
Yeah, a bit of pressure on early will certainly be the aim. Here's Nathan Lynch. He's also using a Henselite XG, so 3 Henselite players in this rink. Yellow and blue size 4. He's got a couple to sit on of Todd Shannon. Does not want to find the gap.
I think it's 3, Tony, at the moment. I think there's a little hole there, but certainly the jack is exposed. So I think we're expecting maybe Anthony to just tuck this around the corner a little bit and reduce the target.
I love watching Ant Flapper play because he'll quite often spend a bit of time over the head. But once he's committed, as soon as he gets anywhere near that mat, he just picks up the bowl and throws it.
I was going to say to Brad,
ultimate accuracy.
If he's driving, he takes his time and then it's done in a blink. So you've got to have that camera ready to go because he goes quick.
Michael Sims, rink creating a bit of noise over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's quite interesting. And Michael Sims there playing Brad Willoughby, and then Taylor Mayle over on the other rink for Essendon, both playing in the BPL side for Tasmania on opposite sides. So friends become foes today. Okay, so he's going for cover here. Yep,
a little bit of protection.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think we find this forehand side away from our commentary here. There is a little bit of a hold with weight, so Lynch is going to need to be very, very particular with his weight, otherwise it'll just hang past through that gap that Anthony's left exposed, which I think was probably a good decision.
Donna's watching from Scotland, saying good luck Essendon. Roddy Burt says go Essendon. Tom Graham says go Valley. So a little bit of support for both teams here, which is good to see. Curtis Hanley, Thumper is in the chat, says go the Valley boys. Some good mates at both Melbourne and Moonee Valley. Lynchy looking to shape up with a bit of weight.
Big backhand drive here just to start off the game. It's looking
pretty good.
He's killed it.
And we'll see this a very familiar sight today. Running down the green, big high fives. Jack goes out of bounds. We'll reset this first end.
I think the energy early days does look like it's going with the Valley across the board. They seem to be switched on for this game.
Yep.
Love that shot selection as well from Lynchy. Didn't take any chances. Went straight at it. Let's go again. See if we can't build a better head.
Yep. Oh, goodness. Who else have we got in the chat? We've got Julie Bell saying, looks like a good day to be on the couch watching bowls. Well, can't argue with that on this long weekend. Sit back, relax, and watch some absolute beauties of matches today. Jared Maher watching from 𝗣𝗿𝘁, Tasmania. Presume supporting the Bombers with Taylor playing for them today. Carna Valleys.
Well, I do need to apologise from the start here, Tony, if I can, to our spectators. When I did the Friday night games throughout the season, I said it doesn't get any better Friday night Premier Division bowls, but I think it might. Sunday afternoon, Division 1 finals, I think this could be as good as it gets.
Yep. Judy Davies picked me up on my first mistake, which is not bad for me, Lloyd. It took me about a minute and a half to get my first mistake in today. Apologies, of course, to Jordan Yates. So I saw yesterday out at Layla, looking well and having a good time watching some great bowls. He, of course, was part of the victorious fours combination who won their Australian title. I think he was also in the Champs from memory.
Yep. Had a ripping state championship, didn't he? Yeah. Morning,
Brendan Elliott. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see everybody in the chat up and about early.
So we don't really want too many of these dead ends, I don't think, today, Tony, because we do have the Premier Division game coming up tonight. Can you give me a bit of a prediction for that one as well whilst we're here?
Number of dead ends? We saw a heap of them last week, so I'm going to guess there'll be a few, just given the lethal drive of Ant Flapper.
Yes.
And Nathan Lynch, no slouch. He's already got one zip on the ends killed.
Great start there by Willow.
Ray, the Valley has asked for the break today, so remember this is a bit different to Premier. No breaks in Premier, but Division 1 teams can take a break if they elect to, and Moonee Valley have been doing it all year, so they're going to continue that tradition today.
Not great for the commentary, but probably a good decision.
10 minutes of my best stand-up routine. Good opportunity for those to jump off the couch.
So what time will that break be, did you say?
So 12:40 today, they will ring a bell and they'll complete those ends and then duck off for a quick 10-minute break. So,
well, my advice for anyone, given that you're doing a stand-up at 12:40, go and get a coffee or do something else, get away from
use that as your opportunity.
Good shot here by Will.
Strocky is in the chat too. Morning, Strocky, saying let's go Bombers.
Yeah, of course, played for Essendon for a number of years. I remember playing Strocky in the old Pren days and certainly skipped well for Essendon, so a lot of connections there with the Bombers.
Yep, absolutely. And a hell of a player himself.
Yes. Good looking shot here. Oh, what an excellent bow there. Great set. Great set.
Yep. Hard to argue with that. That's Jimmy Oliver using his Henselite XGs.
Jimmy Oliver. I haven't seen much of Jimmy in the Pennant Premier Division. Oh, sorry, Division 1.
So these guys weren't in your section, so they won't be that familiar to you, but
certainly exciting, I think, for both these sides. A lot of young talent around, you know. But I think they will both eventually make Premier A, or whatever we're calling it, and I think they'll both be there for a long time.
Yep. So Premier Division and Premier 2 is the official title.
Oh, beautiful.
Some people are going with Premier Reserve, but same deal. But what I do like about Moonee Valley, Lloyd, is you mentioned earlier their average age is about 27. 11 of the 16 today have either played state junior bowls or won a state junior title. So They've been in it for a long time. As much as they may only be young, they do have some experience.
And I think, it's probably worthwhile saying, how do you recruit younger bowlers to the sport like Moonee Valley have done? And, of course, Essendon. What looks kind of clear from the Moonee Valley side is it seems to be a lot of relationships with family that have got the young guys in.
Yeah, it's a well-constructed team. Of course, they added a couple of players, as we mentioned earlier. 𝗣𝗿𝘁, Dylan Fisher came across.
Yep. And I think that's the other thing that we need to, probably acknowledge is that the Valley have been in finals in Division 1 for it seems like the last 8 years and just haven't been able to make that next step.
They've been oh so close, haven't they?
Well, that's exactly right. But you add, Snapper and Simsy and Braden to the side, and now suddenly they become serious contenders.
Yep.
Thorne, I think's drawn maybe third shot there. Not in a great position. So I think they'll definitely look to open up the angle at this head. Braden wants to try and keep everything off that. Or keep it on the line or keep it away from the head, not to give a target. He's done a pretty good job there.
Jimmy Oliver from Castlemaine says T-Bone. So there you go. Nice breeding ground of talent.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah, even with, I think, the Essendon side has a couple of players from Kyneton across Victoria as well. So it's good to see, bowlers from the country coming down and playing in Premier Division Metro or Division 1 Metro.
Yep.
Looks like he's got a nice pace here, Thor. He's having a good look. It's a very good shot. We spoke about that angle to the shot bowl there is now widened, so it gives Anthony a real chance to make something happen for what was a really damaging head for Moonee Valley. There is now giving Essendon a chance of playing a shot, particularly with the Williamson catches on the right there. So very, 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 not the shot bowl, but a very helpful bowl for the end for the Bombers.
Nathan Lynch also sporting a little bit of zinc cream. I think it's probably a case of we've been doing something one way all year, why change it? And given the year they've had, I can understand it. She's just catching the wrong side of Thor Shannon's bowl. No change.
What's the bull going to do here, Tony?
The bull? Ant Flapper, I actually, Ant Flapper, known for having a heck of a good weighted game, but I think his draw shots are superb as well. Yeah. So,
he's just a sensational player, isn't he? Really, I think he's probably because of the speed and the accuracy of the drive. You are right; it is what he's famous for. But he draws as well as anyone else I think we've seen here today. Oh, what an effort!
Just takes a little bit of pace off, but so still. Shot to Moonee Valley. Let's skippers with one bowl to come.
Having a real look at this, I think that Essendon might have 2 or 3 seconds, so there is a danger of it popping out. But of course, as we said before, anything that opens the target to give Flapper a chance at sitting that bowl through is not good for Valley. So
yep.
They need to try and get another one in there without increasing the target, which isn't going to be easy.
Yeah, Skippy saying, how do we get more women? There's 3 in the Essendon team. There's none in the Moonee Valley team, which is unusual. Most of our teams have a mix of male-female, but 3 in the Essendon team. Cheryl and Alana, 3 flappers in the team. Mother and daughter, Cheryl and Alana. And now that I'm saying 3, I'm looking across going, I think there's only 2.
Yeah, I think there is only 2.
Lilydale yesterday had about 4 or 5.
Yeah, Yeah, they're very strong female bowlers. They're led by Jess Wallace and Alana and Cheryl. Both times we played Essendon, Alana and Cheryl were both sensational. They're serious talents. Here goes the ball. You liked it.
Yeah, it was not far off, so that'll be the account open. Thank you very much.
We've got a score.
Shannon, who looks over and makes sure that we see that is 1/3 on respective rinks have been asked. Just let us know when there is a score and how many it is. So, done his job very well.
And a good start over there to Taylor Mayle. He looks like he's picked up a couple shots early. Picked up a 3 then. So, nice little start there for Taylor and the team. Essendon here going for, Moonee Valley should I say, going for a medium length. Matt's kind of up the top of the line going straight to the tee. So interesting little, not full length, but certainly not short. And of course, if you put the jack where you want it and the bowl right on, that's exactly what you want to do as a lead.
Yep.
I believe Dandenong have some specials on as well today, Tony, if I saw correctly. Some food specials and some good deals. So if you do come down today, make sure you don't eat anything before you get here. You can have a nice lunch. They do a beautiful parma, I know that.
Yep.
And sit on the balcony here, watch the bowls and settle in for a good day.
Absolutely. The cafe just behind the rink that we're the head end at the moment. Got some nice toasted sandwiches I saw coming out of there earlier.
Beautiful. Well, of course, we're very lucky. Moama as a partner of Bowls Victoria Pennant, but then also this facility here. They're two of the premier facilities in the world, really, to be associated with.
They really are, and we're very proud to be able to call this the home of the BCIB Metro Premier Division Grand Final. Of course, we've added the Division 1 Grand Final in the last couple of years. Worked really well last year. As some might say, a curtain raiser to the Grand Final, but this one is worthy of standing on its own, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And what a great addition as well. You know, I think it just creates such an atmosphere for the day. And, you know, I think this Deer Park Clayton game tonight will be brilliant. And we know that this game is going to be a sensational game as well. So what a way to finish a season for all bowlers, you know, across all divisions, across all sections. It's been a big season, and today is obviously the main event.
Absolutely, for Pennant. And then we shift into a different gear for all our other events. The Vic Open only a few weeks away, state championships next month. And then, of course, we have champion of state Pennant, region sides, over 60s, Parasport championships. We've got the lot. Something for everyone.
How's the Vic Open going? Is it all shaping well in Traralgon? Are we ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely. Very much looking forward to it. I think there'll be a number of people. Oh, he's just finding a gap there, is Will Code. There'll be a number of people who may not have played down the Latrobe Valley or the Gippsland area previously, who'll be very, very surprised with just how good some of the clubs are down there.
Yeah. Traralgon
and Morwell being our two main host venues. Of course, we'll use about 15 or 16 venues in the area. So you see Moonee Valley getting up and about. So very much looking forward to the Vic Open. Draws were released a couple of days ago.
Yes. It is. There's a plethora of clubs hosting, and it's interesting, as you said. We just don't know many of them. I think I'm at Maroubra North for one, and I would never have heard of it. And it's just an exciting time to be playing bowls.
Absolutely.
Here comes Braden, just trying to roll over the shot bowl here in the purple and white. It looks like he's very close. Yeah. big bowl here from Thor. We're going to look at, and this is going to be the story of the day for both Division 1 and Premier. These sides, they can play.
Yep.
So there's going to be moments, there's going to be chances, and it's going to be about which team can play the big bowls and the big moments. I've no doubt about that, Tony. And I think this could be one of them right now for Thor. He's a few down. Can he impact and change his head?
When you look at the back ends of these two rinks, any of the players can do it. So we're likely to see some good change up all throughout this match.
Absolutely, and we speak, a lot of bowls about front ends winning games, and there's no doubt about that. But the quality of these front ends, they're going to get bowls close. They're going to get bowls in good areas. So I really do think it's going to be the strength of the back ends to play those big shots and take the opportunities. That's going to be the difference. And so far we've seen, both skips play some very, very big bowls and both thirds play some very big bowls. So this is why we love the game.
Josh Sanders in the comments saying he's spewing that he has to watch today. The Bombers were just a touch too good yesterday, and Josh's rink came up against Brad Willoughby's rink at a narrow loss, but it was a very good match. As I said earlier, Lloyd, it was kind of even till about the halfway mark, a little bit beyond that even. And then Essendon just managed to put a few on. They got out to sort of around the 20 margin. Lilydale pegged them back to just under 15, and Essendon were good enough to get there in the end. But Lilydale can hold their heads very high. They had a very good year. Unfortunately, there has to be a winner and a loser at some stage.
Absolutely. I think all of the sectional winners in Division 1 should be very, very proud of what they've achieved, because it's a tough competition. Premier Division we know is tough. There's no doubt about that. We've seen some outstanding games this year. But Division 1, to win your section is a massive achievement. Josh and the Lilydale guys are doing some sensational things. I know they've got a big charity day planned in the near future in recognition of John Snell and the work that he's done in the game. So as a little plug for Lilydale, if you can get around that, because that should be what a great concept and good opportunity.
Bit of a loose one there from Torridale Shannon, but catches the edge of Paul Williamson's bowl and promotes that in. Don't know whether it's changed too much.
Yeah, look, you can definitely see it's two, and that's the question that I've got, whether that last one, the other wing bowl there in orange and blue, which I love those orange and blue bowls as well. They're very cool.
They do look good.
It's a good-looking shot here from Lynchy. Yeah, there it is. That's the shot. That's the shot. So I think it was at least 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. He's drawn the shot cold. So not an easy one. Oh, well, they're holding, aren't they? Of course. That's now 3.
They are.
Yes.
One stage I thought he might have just taken the jack back, but which wouldn't have been ideal for him. But silly me for doubting Nathan Lynch.
This is a big bowl here. He's stalking this. He loves this, Tony.
The track is good.
He loves it.
The track is good. Well,
I think he's changed it. Yeah.
Just a touch unlucky. He hits that slightly more full, and it probably rests in for shot. He misses it and he takes the jack or the shot bowl out. So,
well, what a big moment, Tony. Now we look at this head, and we can see Nathan and Braden. They'll spend some time talking about this, and for good reason, because there's gaps, which is good, but Anthony's an outstanding bowler. Is it close enough? Do we want to give him a second chance at playing the draw shot that he's played? Is Anthony going to play weight? They own the back, so there's a big decision now.
There's almost anywhere Nathan Lynch puts this bowl can be bad.
Correct, which is not what you want to have as a skip walking down the other end, isn't it? But I think we might try and see him.
Might be a bit of coverage at the back.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of gaps there, Tony. I know Anthony's an outstanding player, but sometimes you just take one down for the risk of picking up 3 or 4. So.
Yeah.
Just having a look.
Not going for coverage, that's for sure.
Well, he didn't go for coverage.
No.
I think this could be 4. I think we're going to see a drive here. So let's hope Brad's ready to go, because this is going to happen quick. I reckon this will be a straight at it from Anthony. pace.
Is he a touch narrow?
He's holding. Oh, you're all right. There we go. Oh, they're happy with it too. So the early call there was 5, Tony, from Lynchy.
All right, so we shall see. Getting the tape out just to double check, but it's kind of a half-hearted measure. It is a handful, as they say. That'll get the Valley faithful up and about.
Well, it's the dream start, isn't it? You know, the nerves will definitely be there for all players, and to pick up a 5 early. But as we know in this game, a bit like tennis, when you break serve, the next end becomes crucial.
That's it, isn't it? You want to do all the hard work and then give it away again straight away. So
that's it. And this bowl here, not to put pressure on the young man who started off very well, but this is a critical bowl to really put the pressure on Essendon.
Nailing it now makes everyone else a little bit more relaxed. So this is Blake Andrews with his Aero Evolve. Size 3.5.
Well,
is that nailing it, you reckon,
well,
Lloyd? Not a bad effort.
He's impressed me again. I mean, I know we spoke about I haven't seen much of the Valley boys, but I'm not sure where Blake's come from. He's started this game very, very well.
Dylan Fisher playing a great shot on the rink next door too. It doesn't take much to get these Valley boys up and about.
It's quite exciting, isn't it, really, when you watch
it is. It really is.
Good response there from Willow. So,
and I don't want to for a second people to think it's disrespectful. Like they're not being in anyone's face or anything. They're just excited and they like seeing a good bowl and they do enough of them to have something to cheer about.
Yeah, I think 𝗣𝗿𝗁 yesterday. I think he had quite a good win.
He did, yeah. He had a
against
big
the Valley.
margin.
But I actually read on Facebook, he put a post on, he said that the game was played in great spirits.
Yep.
And I think that's what we're seeing. There is excitement, there is energy, but it is a game played in very good spirits. And young Blake's put another cracking bowl there. I mean, if that's not textbook leading, young bowler or a new bowler starting the game, you want to learn at what the perfect lead shots are. It's what Blake's just done there after picking up a 5. Here comes Willow.
Yeah, well played.
Oh, that was that back bowl that was put in. You know, that was the perfect shot. A bit stiff there not to get a reward there really after that.
So 𝗍𝗿𝗁 yesterday, a heck of a bowler. His rink accounted for the rink we've got on live stream today, the Moonee Valley boys, 31-11.
Wow.
They really did have a great day. But as you say, his comments are, you know, it was all good stuff. They're loud, they're up and about, but they're respectful and just some youthful exuberance, as they say.
Yeah, I think you know, falling in love with your team and each other. That's what I love to see. You know, you don't get involved in criticising the opponent or worried about wicks or these types of things. And you just enjoy playing with each other, and that's what the sport's about.
Nathan Lynch saying, I don't mind that weight. So.
Yeah, I think probably suggesting let's give it a chance. You know, I think that's a really, really smart skipping there. You know, the language of skipping is so important. And just saying, I don't mind that weight, which means we're going to reach this.
Yep.
And he's done that well. He's done that well.
Yep. Ray Pretty saying, come and get Jimmy to do some karaoke in the break. Yeah, send us some requests of what song. Need Matty O down here to do a bit of karaoke with him. For those who've seen that video that went viral.
Bit worried about what's going on down there at Bowls Victoria.
Nice little inside edge there from Will Code. Bit of love for you, Lloyd. Saying if you consider retiring and just taking up commentary full time, I think you'd actually do that very, very well.
I'm not sure about that. Just while this is going on, I think snapper Dylan Fisher's just picked up a 4, so a dream start here for Moonee Valley.
Yeah, they had a couple of big bowls on that rink.
No, look, when Andrew gave me the call up this week saying, would you mind doing commentary, I said, look, I'm happy to do it, but on one condition. Tony 𝗍𝗿𝗁's in the seat next to me, so that we've got a bit of sense and stability. And That's what's happened. Weight's the question here for Braden.
Yeah, track's good, but just a touch shy.
Well, funnily enough, it's probably not a bad result because it does plug up that port
Yeah, true.
on the forehand. But
Well, you have to think that the Bombers will be trying to just roll or flatten Paul Williamson's bowl.
well, I guess the difficulty here is that they're really very weak at the back. So Thor's going to either have to try and get it past to give Anthony something to play to, or play, as you said, that really delicate roll the ball over once. But it then does leave the opposition a chance to attack the head. So I think this will be a positional bowl for pretty much the skipper to have something to play to. And as we say, that's exactly what he's done, Tony.
Spot on, and that is why you should retire early and take up commentary full time.
I think that's just because Dean's seen me play bowls. So
Nice to see Todd Simmons in the chat. He has a big role to play this afternoon when the Clayton Cobras take on Deer Park. But obviously, he'll be watching the Valley boys, Dylan in particular, but he'll be watching the Valley boys and cheering them on as well. So big day for Todd. All the best today, mate.
yes, is this the second year we've had the double header? Or?
Yes, so last year it was the Whittlesea-Richmond match.
Of course.
Which, for those that were here, saw an absolute excitement machine of a match. It was brilliant fun.
Oh, that's a good effort from Braden. Do you think it's the Valley Bowl at the back that's holding there? Or?
It is hard to tell. Trying to look at any different angles we've got. Yeah, it was a bit close for me to call from here. We kind of sit halfway down the rink, and we're probably 2.5 rinks away from it. So
I think you're sitting on the fence there, Tony. Come on.
it is. Well, all right. I'll say that Paul Williamson's bowl has it, but it's with very little confidence. As Judy Davey reminded me earlier, I've already been wrong about a minute and a half into the stream. So.
Well, that's what I'm trying to set up here. It's just chances to see what your knowledge is like. That's good. Oh, that's a great shot.
I think that's that second option we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Just trying to flatten Paul Williamson's bowl. So maybe it's not shot and they're trying to get it in, or they're trying to guarantee it.
Yeah, well, I think high-level bowlers, we talk all the time about missing in good areas. You're never going to get every shot you play. You're not going to play 42 resting touches in a game. But if your bad bowls are missing in good areas, you're going to give yourself a chance more often than not. And that's what we saw there with Thor. You know, he's missed, but he's finished in such a good spot, splitting the Valley's guys.
Yep.
They're really loving this forehand. They're seeing options here. And Lynch, he's started very energetic here. He's excited.
I think he might have ran a little bit too early there. Now he's just pulled out of the run, but he's kicked it far enough. It's good.
I think that's taken out any sort of measure that we've got there. I think it's now definitely...
Now we'll never know how wrong I was. Thank you very much, Nathan Lynch.
I think I'm just going to say that you were wrong. So, no, that's a great shot. I'm ready to see a big flapper drive here, Tony.
No drive this time.
No, not yet. Tell you what, though, he's close.
What does he jam the jack to, though?
What's he going to do? Oh, he's got it clean. What a shot. Anthony Flapper says, Lloyd, this is all about my touch and my skill today, nothing about the big shots. And he's
holding three.
What a shot.
See this one on the replay coming in, Lloyd. Jack full could have been a problem.
How good is that?
Jack on the edge might have kicked it back in a good spot for Essendon as well. So this gives the Moonee Valley boys something to talk about, something to think about.
Well, and, you know, obviously the first end, there was a good conversion from Lynchy. Then it all kind of went the way of Moonee Valley from the way the heads developed. Now it's decision time. You know, what are they going to do? Is it going to be another drive to try and kill the end like we did end one? Or is it going to be trying to cut it down on the draw?
Does he work up through his first bowl? Is that...
He's definitely on that hand. Yeah, Tony, I think you're spot on. He's just playing over the draw.
It's a bit too wide, I think. So no change with that one.
Probably one of those ones that he was stuck in two minds, whether he played it firm or did just try and arrive to the head and then got stuck by playing on a high line because he wasn't so sure. So
yep.
well, if he can draw the shot, as we spoke about that response after dropping a 5, picking up a 4, suddenly you're only 1 down, not 5 down.
It's quite a bit wider here, though. I reckon this might be a slight bit of a chicken's bowl, but if it can come back, it's going to be close.
I think it's in, Tony.
There's no chicken there.
I think it's in.
Oh, and a fist pump from 𝗣𝗿𝘁.
Wow. Welcome to the Division 1 finals, ladies and gentlemen. Strap in.
It is 4. There we go.
Wow.
2 absolute peaches of bowls from 𝗣𝗿𝘁.
He's happy about it too, I tell you. I mean, that's the response that was needed, wasn't it, right there? So.
He's called his rink up. Probably just to get a bit of congratulations to say, I bowled 2 pretty good bowls. No, of course he's not doing that. But I think he's probably just going to say to his chargers, right, we were down 6-zip. It's pretty much back to square. Let's just play our best bowls. And away we go.
Yeah, and probably a really experienced move there from Anthony. He's probably saying exactly what we were speaking about, which was, okay, we've picked up a 4. We've now reduced the impact of the 5. Let's win this end.
Yep.
You know, let's win this end and make sure that that counts. So we're a treat here because, I mean, look, Lynch is a very, very established bowler, very experienced as well, been in juniors for a long time. But Anthony, in terms of his experience, and not only at this level, but in Premier Division finals, he's won Premier Division finals as a skip. He's the most experienced player out there for mine, and he'll teach us a lesson on how to play in finals.
Yep, absolutely. I don't quite know exactly how many years 𝗣𝗁𝘁 has been playing, but he did win a couple of under 18 or under 25 state titles.
There you go.
I'm going to guess he'd be 44, 45 or somewhere around there. So have a good 25
right.
years under his belt. Well, he's a similar age to what I'll be in 20 years' time. So I'm only 25, of course. But.
Of course. Oh, good start. They've been very impressed with the lead here from Moonee Valley.
Yeah, Blake Andrews has been very, very good. That's not taking anything away from Paul Williamson.
Yes.
He's been up to the task as well. So
I think all players have started off in this game very well. You know, as we said, there's nerves out there, no doubt about that. But I can't think of any player who hasn't contributed to the head each end. So.
Yeah, fair call. No doubt we'll still see the odd loose bowl from any and all players. But as you said earlier, Lloyd, nobody comes out and rolls down 42 touches.
Great bowling there, great leading. Anthony will be very happy with that as a response from his lead.
Yeah, so Nathan Lynch to same play to here and put his foot 18 inches behind the jack.
Well, of course, if we do have any, new bowlers or younger bowlers, when you're leading and you've been asked to change hands, the key objective is to just get past. It's very difficult to change hands and kind of nail it again.
Yep.
So just add that little bit of weight, make sure you get into a nice position if you miss. Always a good thing, but there's 4 pretty standard lead bowls there, just quietly. So
yeah, they make it look easy at the moment, aren't they? As we said earlier, this is a very good surface.
Yes.
Pretty good conditions.
Oh, great shot
there
there from
some
Will.
good bowls.
I think it's very important. This is a great surface to play on. So and it relies on good weight. Play the good weight, and the bowl will come back to you, as we saw with Anthony. He played the perfect weight.
Bit of royalty in the house today. 𝗍𝗿𝘁 from BCIB.
Is he?
He's down to present some medals and trophies and chat to some people about the wares of BCIB, who are strong supporters of the Metropolitan Pennant competition, I should say. And of course, provide insurance coverage for Bowls Victoria. And I think last time I saw figures, almost half the clubs in the country. So
it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Absolute powerhouse around the country, BCIB.
And they support all forms of bowls. That's what I love about BCIB. I had the pleasure when I was working at Sunbury, working with 𝗍𝗿𝘁, of course, as a coach of Melbourne Extreme, and he obviously works with BCIB, and then we ended up having BCIB sponsor one of our Premier League sides as well. So that they love bowls, and they're such good supporters. And Brett, of course, was a champion player in his time as well.
Absolutely. So. And one of those that they say retired too early.
Yes.
Commonwealth Games gold medalist, of course, but could have been and could have done anything. And
I think they've said you've retired from Australian bowls too early as well, Tony.
well, I'm yet to hit my peak. Is what I prefer, but well, we'll see. Night Pennant Grand Final is Tuesday night.
Is that right?
Cross my fingers for that one.
Oh, well, good luck. Where's that being played?
It's actually being played at Heidelberg Golf, I believe. So struggling to find a neutral venue. So
Tell you what, we should get the live stream out for that and
Yes.
see maybe the opposite of what we're seeing. No, I'm joking.
With a big warning at the bottom saying here's what not to do. No, it should be good fun. They're a good host venue out there. So
Yeah. Oh, he's looking close here, Thor. Yeah, perfect.
well
Very
played.
happy. Yep.
a bit of chalk on the bowl.
Very, very tight head. It's not often you see a head like that where almost all bowls, except for that one back one's within the mat length there. So there'll be a bit of pace through this, I think.
Yes, Andy McDonald. They are all bowls caps.
We get that question every week on the live stream, don't we,
do.
Tony?
We do. There's always somebody watching.
Oh, just a yard over here in pace. Looks to be turning quite quick. A couple of times we've seen almost on the draw pace, just over turning quite quickly on this side coming down here. So
Absolutely, Tom Graham. Fingers crossed.
well, it's settled down a little bit from that start, as we always see in finals. It's always quite a great atmosphere in the first few ends, and then slowly just settles down a little bit, I guess, in the intensity and the energy. And then I think we'll see as the game progresses, just before the break, there'll be a big push of energy. After the break, the energy will come, and then obviously those last few ends is going to be where it's won or lost.
It'll electrify in the last few ends. And I think part of that is Essendon they put on the last 5 shots. They were down 18-4 and started to claw their way back into it.
Well, scoreboard pressure is everything in the game, isn't it? Really, it's important that Essendon stay close now to Valley,
Yep.
and give themselves a hope. You know, they'll back themselves with the skill on the side to chase any margin down, but you just want to keep that scoreboard
Yep.
pressure going.
So down 1 on the head now, Braden Ellis. He's got 3 seconds. Difficult to get 𝗣𝗿𝘁 bowl out without taking the jack back though. So
Well, of course, it's a toucher as well, so if there is big movement through it, the toucher may go into the pit with it, which would be the worst result, but we're going big here. Yes, here we go, Tony. Oh.
well, he's absolutely scattered it. Has a very good drive on him, Braden Ellis.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite catch whether that was 𝗣𝗿𝘁's toucher that went out of bounds or it's still on the rink. So
Must have missed that as well.
I don't think they're going to be playing for that either way. So
Yeah, I think we're just going to be drawing here. I think it's a bit of between the two skippers now.
yep,
Who can put that pressure on?
Jack sits about 2 feet in from the boundary. See the white marker there on the bank.
So it is a couple of shots here to Essendon, I would say. Maybe one. I'm not sure if Anthony's last bowl's in. It could be.
I'm going to say it is,
Yep.
but it is hard to tell from this angle. And still a fair amount of room for Nathan Lynch to draw with 2 bowls to come.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a skilled player. We do back him to get one of these 2 in there, but I mean, it's by no means an easy shot off centre, so...
Yeah, it messes with people
Yeah.
very easily. His finger up there though.
So now the choice comes, is Anthony going to try and rip it out, or is he going to try and maybe just outdraw the shot? I think he's going to try and play the draw.
Yeah, there's still plenty of room to draw. So.
Yeah. I think if the bowls were a little bit closer to the ditch, he'd say,
Yeah.
all right, let's see how good you are, Lynchy, let's go again under pressure. But I think given the fact that there is still a yard to draw,
Williamson asking for it to hold.
What a shot.
Wow.
Well,
What is that? 3 or 4 inches from the ditch.
Yeah, I think he's got no choice but to play this. He can't afford to lose his bowl, so I think he's only going to play maybe that metre over.
Doesn't go full glory and try and sit it in and stay.
Yeah, I think he has to.
Yep.
I just think he has to be a little bit careful with the weight, because if he does play a fraction tight and flicks his out, he's in a bit of trouble. So
Yep.
he has played that kind of delicate weight, which is such a hard shot on these surfaces, isn't it? So,
So no change there. That'll be 1 to the Bombers. They dropped the first 2 ends, but they've won the next 2. And we are very close to even here. They're trailing 5-6. Overall, there is still a bit of a margin. 10 shots, but early days.
yeah, well, it's on the back of the flapper rink. Not the flapper rink, the Fisher rink, should I say, getting off to the 9-0 start. So that's a dream start there. But I do see they've got a bowl on the jack there, Essendon. So this could be a turning moment in that game.
One thing that's evident to me, Lloyd, is looking across the green, the Moonee Valley team always seem to be smiling. Like they're having a great time, and they're also playing very good bowls, but they always seem to be happy.
Yeah.
Or relaxed.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? There, I think relaxation. This is a muscle memory game, so any tension is going to make it difficult to get the rhythm, to get the flow. And I think you're right. Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment, because these moments aren't, as we said, 40 teams, and each one of those 40 sides thought they were a chance to be here. So, when you get this chance, just enjoy the moment.
Yep. Unfortunately, one team's going to leave disappointed today, but that'll last for a day or two, and then they should be able to shake it off and understand just what a good season they've all had. Win your section in Division 1 in Victoria is not an easy task.
That's right. That's right. Here comes Willow with another very, very solid bowl.
Yep.
And the upside for both these sides, I think Essendon had probably about 20 years in Premier Division, and I think we all were a bit shocked when they got relegated to Division 1, and have spent the last couple of years, I guess, rebuilding a side. Now with a couple of Tasmanian imports have put together a side that's clearly going to be a very good contender in Premier B, if not making it to a second Premier if they don't make it to Premier. So
just a reminder, these two teams will be both in Premier 2, but one of them will have the opportunity to get into Premier Division. They'll play, the winner of today's match will play Fitzroy Victoria on Friday night. And as we say, the winner of that will be in Premier Division next season. So just when you think the season's over, Lloyd, there's more finals and more action to be had.
Well, if we can actually probably start looking at the shape of Premier 2 next year. So we've obviously got potentially two of these two sides, all Fitzroy.
Yep.
Then you've got Lilydale
and Whittlesea, who were both beaten yesterday, and our two winners from yesterday.
Brighton, was it?
I don't think so, Lloyd. We could try and change the results for you, mate. No, our two winners today. Heathmont got up over Kingsbury by a shot.
Oh, wow.
So doesn't get much closer than that. And Dandenong Club
by a shot
just
as well,
got over
I think.
Brighton, by a shot or so.
Brilliant ball there from Will there.
So that'll make up the Premier 2 group of 8. So
it's actually quite nice to see that starting to form. I'm sure it would be for you at Bowls Victoria as well, to see that kind of idea come together now. And he loves this. Well, that's a great shot. That's a much, much better position for them to be in. They've now got 4 catches, just a foot behind the jack. It's open with jack high bowls. I'm not sure if you could have got a better result than that, Tony.
Yep, Jimmy Oliver spotted that a long way out and charged after it, as we see on the replay.
Yeah, of course, I think the other thing about the Premier too is that we'll see a stronger Premier because you're now having those sides play against the best of the best, this standard every week. So that transition to Premier will be easier because it is a tough jump at the moment.
It's proven too hard over the last number of years for teams that make the jump up. They quite often find themselves jumping straight back down the following year. So we're trying to arrest that. We're decreasing from 10 to 8 teams and invoking the Premier 2 section. So far, it looks to be cherry ripe with what's occurring. Josh Bradley says played against these teams and they are the best 2 teams, no passengers. I reckon that's a really good comment because there are just no weak links. You look across these teams, and I'm referring to both Essendon and Moonee Valley, they just have talent galore, front end, back end. Both very good teams.
That's probably the secret when it comes to Premier Division and Division 1 is everyone has to contribute. And you can have some sensational players, and there are some brilliant players in both levels, but if you're playing hard shots, you're not going to win games of bowls.
Yep.
The sides that are playing the easy shots and the good heads are the ones that are going to win. Well, big moment here for Lynchy now. He's been under a bit of pressure. See if Thor can put some pressure on here by drawing another one or tucking this jack away. It looks good.
Don't mind the track.
Give that a couple of rolls. That's a little bit of insurance that I think they needed just behind the jack. Still attractive for Braden though, isn't it, to play that metre over, trail the jack to those 4 half bowls. You see the purple and white, orange and blue, they're all Moonee Valley. So if he can get the jack into that area, it makes it a very, very difficult position for Essendon to get at.
They're holding 3 or 4, Lloyd?
I think it's 4.
It's 4?
Looks like 4 to me. But sometimes even when you're holding 4, you can be in a vulnerable position, can't you, Tony? This
is true. Mental note for me, never hold 4. Yep, got it. What's Braden done? They're asking for it to let go.
Yeah, good shot. So I still think it's 1 to Essendon.
Yep.
But a good shot.
It's better than 4.
And whilst that's all going on, I believe McMullen is on the board. So that'll arrest the nerves there a little bit there.
Yep. There's a question earlier around where is Fitzroy and the Divi 1 winner being played. We'll know that in the next day or so. If I was to guess, I'd say it'd be Moonee Ponds, but it's not locked in yet, I don't believe. We're just checking what lights are going to be like and so forth.
Yeah, I heard a rumour it was Brighton. I don't know where I heard that from. Is there any truth in that? Maybe.
Well, speaking of Brighton, somebody says the Dandenong Club got up by 20 plus over Brighton.
Oh, turn it up. Who's saying that? No, Chris
Connor.
Come on. It wasn't 20, surely. No, look, they were a bit too good for us yesterday, but
they were. No disco yesterday, I don't believe. He wasn't.
Unfortunately not. Had to work. I said to him last week, I'll see you at the airport on Friday, and then unfortunately life is busy, so we know how much effort Disco puts into to the sport, and we really would have loved to have had him, but unfortunately he wasn't able.
This is not a bad track from Nathan Lynch.
Oh, no.
Well, no change, but had 2 or 3 options there that just didn't fall his way. Jody Gibson's cheering on from Tassie. Nice to have you on the stream. And another Strocky, Lockie Strocknetter.
Oh.
So go the Bombers. I think Jack's comment deserves anything.
No. Here comes Anthony. Oh, his pace looks so fast.
A touch shy.
Well,
so how does Nathan Lynch get to this now? Does he switch hands and try and
was just going to say, because a lot can go wrong for Lynchy, unfortunately, here. I mean, we see that white bowl jack high. That's definitely got to be protected, I think, Tony. I think he needs to try and get another one in there somehow, but all bowls are kind of right in there. So if any weight's played, I mean, it is kind of a lottery to see what's going to happen because there's so many bowls in there. I think we're going to see a draw shot here, and I like that. Just a nice draw. Try and get another friend in there.
Well,
this track looks good.
Tell you what.
Oh, Tony.
Tell you what.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. It must be Sunday afternoon Division 1 finals to see that. What an effort. 2.
Did they really signal 2 then?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
so
I thought it was only 1, so there you go.
Had me fooled for sure. Wow.
There we go. Tanya's saying Moonee Ponds cannot post, so there you go.
So we're back at Brighton.
No, we don't know is the short answer. We did have a couple of different options. Just given the location of teams, you would imagine it'll be in that sort of, well, Northern Gateway area, inner northwest, whatever you want to call it. So 𝗣𝗿𝗁 could be an option, 𝗣𝗿𝗁 CBC. So
well, I have to give credit to Cheltenham's greens yesterday. They were outstanding.
Yeah, they have put up some absolute terrific decks all year. Laylaw the same, some really good compliments on their greens. We are pretty lucky to have some excellent greenkeepers here in Victoria.
Certainly are, certainly are. Because we don't want to see grass greens die off, do we really? We want to see them still being a big part of the game. And,
well, I think you want to have the choice because you look at a day like today and it's not a bad thing to be playing inside.
Yeah, of course. Very well, young Blake.
But there was absolutely a stellar crowd out at Laylaw yesterday. I went out and watched both games out there. There would have been 300 plus. The sun was shining. There wasn't too much wind. A little bit later in the arvo. And as I say, the decks were absolutely brilliant. So certainly happy to have, on a good day, a good grass green is absolutely perfect.
And you are right, yesterday's weather was perfect. It must have been an amazing atmosphere. So here comes Willow. Yeah, great shot.
It's become a familiar tale with these two. Blake puts one on and Paul Williams says anything you can do.
Well, just looking at the way that the game's shaping earlier, it seems like this is probably the rink that Essendon's going to need to get a bit of a lead on.
Yep.
Obviously, there's a lot that can change in 21 ends, particularly with the break, but the two next door rinks, I think, for Essendon are going to be in a real battle against Sims and Fisher. So I think this one's going to be an important game for the result.
Taylor Miles picked up another 2 down the end there. He now leads 6-1 over Brad Gibson.
Has he?
Daniel saying some great bowls being put down and some good commentary from Lloyd. What's the pace of the green? I haven't actually asked the players, Daniel, but I'm going to guess it's about the 14 mark on it.
I think it's going to be slightly quicker.
Yep.
That would be my estimation. I think maybe 14.5, 15. Only because
well played, well showed.
It is a little bit cool in here. So I think typically we see these greens run a little bit free. I know at Sunbury we certainly did when there's a little bit of coolness around, and as the heat comes in, or the humidity comes in, it does slow down a fraction. But I'd say 14, 15 is probably around the mark. There's certainly a lovely finish to the draw bowls and probably perfect conditions really for long bowls.
It's Jimmy Oliver done here.
Oh, it's a great shot. I mean,
we're blessed to have these players out here today because they are all playing at a very high standard.
Well, it makes me realise just how ordinary of a bowler I am when I watch these bowlers, Tony.
And if you're ordinary, I am terrible. Brandon Marsh saying ACBC or Preston Reservoir. Yeah, Preston Reservoir is another one that is in contention there. Some really good feedback on their greens. So it will be Friday night is what we know. It's just a question of which green, and it's really going to boil down to who's got good lights.
Yep.
We'll make sure that we pick the best green. Don't get us wrong, but
7:30.
not too sure. We might try and make it a touch earlier.
Yep.
So Friday's weather at this stage scheduled to be 23 degrees. So
that's perfect.
Yep. After a 30 the day before as scheduled, so it should be quite nice.
Yeah, good.
Friday night.
Well, they are human.
They
are human because I think he'll know the area there that he made it. A back bowl there would have been perfect. But saying that, even bad bowls sometimes in this game can have a really good position, and that's blocked off the head quite nicely there for Essendon. So I don't think Anthony's going to be too upset.
Yep.
So now that we've seen 20 ends in the game almost finished, are you hanging with your prediction that you made at the start of the game?
Look, I am. I did say it'd be almost a coin toss between these two, as much as I favour Moonee Valley may get up in the end.
Yep.
It was 18-4, so we were 14 shots the difference 10 ends ago.
Yep.
That's back to 7 now, so back to 5 now, I should say. So I think it's going to be neck and neck all game, and it'll come down to a couple of big bowls at the right times. And Sarah Roger, will next Friday be streamed? Yes, it will.
Well, big moment here. I think we'll see Thor just try and get the back position here. Just
watching it intently.
Yeah, okay.
He's watching it intently.
What a shot.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing what the discussion here from Essendon, if I can think of what's going through Anthony Thor's head here, is that the jack is going to be difficult to get out there.
Yep.
So let's just keep building the head there. I think they'd be looking now, Moonee Valley, at the backhand swinger maybe. You know, maybe trying to plant the front bowl, get a better angle at it. But this head is certainly in the favour of Essendon at the moment, Tony. I don't think there's any argument about that.
Yeah.
So he's looking
3.
I think he's just said the forehand through those bowls, trying to expose that jack. So that's a pretty smart call there. Got to change the look of this head.
Barbara Green says she likes Friday night bowls. Trouble is now we're starting to compete with AFL and NRL, which is true.
Go the D's.
I would always say watch the bowls first, and then NRL and AFL on replay. Take out the ads off them. Yeah, well, that gets one out.
It's got one out, and it's got some bowls on the back now. So they do own... Yeah, so see, Ant, they're calling that bowl to go back there. The good part there is they've got 3 bowls behind.
Vilma, this is Michael Sims that's playing for Moonee Valley. There is a Lockie Sims as well, I think. Both the Sims boys might have played at Melbourne a few seasons back.
Correct. Michael and Lockie won a premiership there, I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, this is the Michael Sims variety. Both very accomplished bowlers.
Yeah, both been in the state sides in Tasmania for some time. And,
yep. Ant Flapper just calling for where he wants that bowl. And, well, it's finished within 6 inches of it, so well played.
2 perfect shots there from Thor, really. The first one extending the head, giving him another one in there, and the second one in a really good position. So. We said earlier about that scoreboard pressure, and they've been able to stick with them there, Essendon. Now we've got a 7-shot game, so see what happens in this next quarter is going to be pretty important. Just a bit quick there, I think Lynchy was saying, in speed. Didn't give it enough chance to work back, so I think that they're going to try and just work through that side white bowl. Anthony, I think, might just try and have another one here.
He's so fast on the mat, Flapper.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, well.
Okay, that's actually not a great result there for Anthony because it does now give.
It does widen it a touch,
Yeah.
I understand, but it's a heck of a result in terms of being narrow and
Yeah.
pumping something out that somehow gets around everything. And
Correct. But I think that Nathan might be displeased with it because
Yep.
of the fact it does give an angle to the jack there and takes away that gap that was looking pretty challenging, I must admit. And his track looks good, Tony. It looks seriously good.
Looks very good.
It looks brilliant. Oh, that is unlucky twice, I think, now, Tony.
I think your favourite's still 3 as well, but it's just a different 3.
Well, last end, I think he's played a ripping shot, the perfect shot, and he's gone down 2. And now this end, he's half the jack, and he's gone down 3 with another ripping shot. $12-10 as we sit, so half an hour to the break. So I think this will be a real push now for both teams trying to get some pressure onto the break. And Anthony Flapper's drawn a resting toucher. Oh, it's a good shot. 4 shots. What's he going to do?
I think he'll back himself to draw it. I mean, if you can miss and, a little bit of overdraw. If he misses left or right, he's got things to work off. If he can get the jack back.
Yeah, he's on the draw.
Wants to be a little bit overweight here.
His pace is the question now, I think.
He's got to get the right side of it.
Looked just slightly under, didn't it, all the way down, but I think it might have cut 2 out, which I think is a good result given the overall scoreboard. I mean, ultimately, when you're looking at the game, you're not looking so much at the rink scores, but that 17-24 there. So for 4 there would be damaging, whereas a 2 really isn't. It's not a nightmare.
So Essendon 9-6 in front now. They were down 6-0. They pulled off 9 shots in a row.
So how do you now, if you're the Valley boys, stop this momentum? What's the secret, Tony?
I don't think they've been far away. I think the Leeds battle's been very, very even. It's just that sort of middle pack which has put a bit of pressure on the Valley boys. So they're going to have to increase their output. And I'm not for a second saying Jimmy or Braden are bowling bad. Just Will Code put in a good one. He had one loose one last end, but Corridale Shannon has been the difference, I think, at this stage.
Just if you can hear probably through the microphone that there is a bit of intensity raised now. As I said, we're going to have that push now to 12:40. I expect things to get a little bit loud over the next couple of ends, just quietly, Tony. Another good start from Willow. He's putting bowls in the area, and that's really helping set up the Essendon's rink. So even if they're not holding shot, they've got bowls to play with.
Yeah.
Very unusual and deliberate technique Willow has, doesn't it? Yeah.
Again, not a judgment thing, but takes a long time.
Does take a long
time. Routine.
Well, that's exactly right. And we see the contrast. And that's what we love about the game is you see Anthony Flapper, who's super, super quick, very deliberate in his decision-making before he's on the mat. But as soon as he gets onto the mat, very, very quick. And then Willow, who takes so much time on the mat, does all of his thinking, his calculation on the mat. Who knows which way is better, so...
Yeah, there's no right or wrong, is there? I mean, it's absolutely player preference, and as much as we've probably just given him a little bit of the commentator's curse, he's a bit short with his second one, he's been very good. Exactly. See Ant Flapper just wiping a bit of chalk off that stayed on the bowl.
Well, I tell you, I can't really pick the lead battle. I reckon they've both been very, very good. I really, really do.
There's not much in it, is there? I'd probably just give the honours to Blake, but... My only comment, Lloyd, on how long you take over the mat is what I like about what Ant Flapper does, he commits to the shot in his mind. And I remember, excellent Australian golfers like Aaron Baddeley used to say the same thing. Everyone used to think he was a super fast putter. but what they don't show you on TV is the 2 minutes he spent walking around assessing the angles. But his theory was, once I commit to the shot, it's exactly the same in bowls. Don't cloud yourself with anything else. Commit to it 100% and then just pull the trigger. Makes complete sense to me.
That's brilliant. I mean, for any new bowler, because I think when you're learning the game, they talk quite often about take your time on the mat and think about it. But I agree completely. I mean, you want to make it as simple as possible and make your calculations, get the information that you need in the computer before you step on the mat, and then back your skill and your talent to execute the shot. Fisher's had a drive there. I think they're 3 down. He's taken out 1, but this could be an opportunity here for McMullen to get back in that rig, which is important in the state of play of the game. Well, Will has played 2 brilliant bowls, hasn't he? You know, we spoke about Moonee Valley needing to stop momentum, and the Essendon guys aren't making that very easy, are they? So Essendon continue to claw back this lead, and this could be a genius move, having a break here for Valley, because they're certainly coming back harder.
It's funny, their last 2 games they've had, relatively comfortable margins at the break. And their theory of having the break is their opportunity to regroup. When you've got a comfortable margin, you don't need to regroup so much. It can sometimes be damaging, but today it might be exactly what the doctor ordered. And they do take the break every week, so it's not nothing new for the Valley. Jack Oliver.
Well, that's it. That's the one.
Jimmy Oliver. He's playing well.
Well, we said it. It needed to be a moment for this ring, and I think that could be it, the turning point here. Now the pressure's on Thor and Braden. Who can nail that Jack now? Because ultimately it is 1-2 Essendon, but we both know that bowl's not going to be the shot. So who's going to put that pressure on you?
I was about to say Jack Oliver gets the Jimmy out, but Jimmy Oliver gets the Jack out sideways. So I knew what I meant.
I'm glad you did.
Lockie White saying here, the greenkeeper at Cheltenham slept at the club for several days and watered the green every 2 hours. Mind-blowing if true. Well, I tell you what, they prepared an absolute crack of a green, so not sure if it's true or not, but whatever they're doing, it's working. So.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I was actually told that story yesterday, so the fact that it's
could well be true.
Confirmed, it does seem true. Great shot there from Thor, really, Big moment here from Braden. We spoke about how he was one of their recruits coming in this year for a bit of stability. This is his chance now. If he can put a resting toucher on, gives Anthony and Thor against him a very difficult hit to play to. So, very big moment in the game for Braden.
Been asking, will BV only stream Premier next year or some of Premier 2? That is a good question. We will only stream Friday nights as of next year. We'd have trialled a few Saturdays and Sundays over the last year or 2, which just haven't done what we wanted them to. Braden Ellis just a touch short with that one. Line was okay.
And whilst that's all going on, a 3 to McMullen has now brought this game to 1 shot to Moonee Valley. So we could very much be going into the break or square until over on the far rink Gibson's picked up 4. So
pretty good memory. Almost holding 3. Braden's close. Oh, good correction, but just ducks under. And unfortunately for him, the Moonee Valley boys just continued through. Mark Boland is the greenkeeper at Cheltenham we were talking about earlier, Beverley's saying maybe not quite true that he slept there, but they're definitely running a treat. So.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story, isn't it what they say, Tony?
That's correct. And Ant Flapper's going to put another one in here just to pile a little bit extra pressure on Nathan Lynch. And this is what we're talking about at the start of this end. The Bombers have managed to get on top, putting Nathan Lynch under pressure almost each time he gets to the mat. Yeah, well, Flapper well and truly good enough to add.
Well, I think this could be almost 5 here. So this is a critical part of this game now for Lynchy. He's played some good shots without luck. That's got to be in his mind. You know, he's got to be thinking, geez, I thought I played some really good ends here and I haven't got results. Now 5 down again. Serious pressure, and I think he's pushed this one a little wide, Tony, I think.
Might cut one out. So cut out the bowl of 𝗼𝗁. It's going to be close.
Well, we spoke about earlier in the game the experience about Anthony, and I love this. Right, we spoke about how he's quick in the mat, but he's just decided right now Nathan is feeling pressure.
Yep.
And he says, I'm going to walk down the head, I'm going to make him think about it a little bit longer, I'm going to have a little
really
look,
good call, Lloyd.
and then I'm going to make him play it.
Yep.
He's got the fingers out now measuring. I mean, this is an exhibition of skipping.
And you almost guarantee as he walks off, he'll say, yeah, we're holding 4. You know, just to rub it in a little bit.
And what we can see, what you can't see, or you probably can see a little bit in the camera, but you know, we're just looking at Nathan Lynch's body language. It's just a little bit fidgety, walking around, you know, trying to keep his mind off the shot that he's about to play. So
perhaps doesn't have the smile that they had in the first couple of ends.
Well, it's fascinating to watch the psychology of the game. I mean, he's not standing still there. He's feeling a lot of pressure. So. Yep. Very, very clever from Anthony. And
they'll find a way to regroup, but you are absolutely spot on with that, Lloyd.
Yeah.
I might hand you a notice into Brighton tomorrow, so you've taken up a full-time career in commentary.
Is he gonna? Okay.
Just has his head in his hands after that one, Ant Flapper.
He did. I think he saw the opportunity. I think he knows it. He's got a little smile on his face as well. I'm backing Nathan to draw this, Tony. What do you reckon?
Well, that's the other point to this, is when he's 4 down, if he can draw one, there will be a yelp from all of the Moonee Valley boys. So.
And his weight was so good with the first one, it's a minor correction. He's having a look, Tony.
Needs to find something to sit on.
I will say as well, this Essendon ring, the whole season in Section 2, this was the outstanding ring. This was the ring that most sides knew if we were going to win the game, you had to control this Essendon
Torridale
ring.
skipped at the start of the season for a bit, or has this rink been in formation all year?
I think for a couple games, and then when they got the Tasmanian fly-ins in, he's played pretty much as third to Anthony for most of the year. And they played pretty well together.
So John Roberts, our international technical official, is keeping a close eye on this. Both teams have measured. They just weren't quite sure they could split it. But
and we are calling
umpires. So down the other end is Lorraine Dowson, also an ITO. She's going to come down just in case they need a hand. It's a bit of a distance, this one.
We've got the big guns out today for the umpiring, haven't we?
Certainly do. 2 of our more experienced umpires, both been around for a long time, umpired at Com Games, World Championships and everything in between.
Well, of course, on the point you made as well, if anyone who is doing an umpire's course or is keen on umpiring, you would have noticed JR, he was on the rink as soon as the measure was happening. So very important if you're umpiring to be aware of all 4 rinks. And if you see a measure, get on that rink so you can jump on quickly, because we want to keep the game moving as much as possible, really, don't we?
Spot on. So we're getting the laser out now.
Love the laser.
Sure in all this how many shots we're determining, but
I think this is for 4.
This is the 4th, is it? Okay. If it is, this will lock it up as 27 shots apiece.
Bit of pressure on the umpire here.
Yeah.
I will say these top level players. There you go. So it was Lynch's bowl there. So 2. Lynch's cut out a couple with his first one. There you go. Shows you what we know down here in the commentary box.
Well, that surprised me. I thought it was 3 and they were looking at 4, but about the 19th time I've been wrong today. So that was before I left home.
Now, actually talking about home, I think you need to probably say something on this live stream, Tony, if I'm not...
I do. I'm going to be in a bit of trouble when I get home. It's my magnificent daughter's 16th birthday today.
What's your daughter's name?
Emma.
Emma.
Little Princess Emma.
Well, happy 16th birthday, Emma.
Yes.
I hope it's a good day. And,
taking her to get her licence on Tuesday.
Oh, that's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to it. She's been driving a car since she's been 9 or 10. So we had fortunate enough to have a farm that we could go and muck around on. So,
are you a bit of a? Will you be a good instructor, or will you be a bit nervy?
No nerves for me. I'll be all good. No problem at all. Looking forward to it. Actually, it'll be good fun. Speaking of looking forward to it, Paul Williamson, he must be just chomping at the bit to get his 2 bowls down there because he's bowling incredibly well today. Ricky O's joined us in the comments. Afternoon, Ricky O.
Afternoon. What a great... This is just... I love watching leads in 4s do what these two are doing.
It just sets up the game so well.
Keeping it tight. You know, they're not necessarily resting. I mean, there's been a few resting touches, but every bowl has a chance. Building the head. I mean, that's what you need to do as a lead. They're doing it perfect.
Yep. Magic Mike asking, will bowls be joining the plethora of sports with the betting agencies? No plans for that. There are some bookmakers that bet on some competitions, but none that are affiliated with us anyways. Gary Kroll asking for some comments from you, Lloyd, as coach. If you were coaching Paul Williamson with his feet set up, would you leave it? Would you change it? On the strength of this, it's hard to advocate for changing anything, isn't it?
Well, you definitely wouldn't change it, but I reckon what we might do, Gaz, if you hang around for another end, we'll have a real look at what he does when he's on the mat, and we'll try and, Tony and I will try and talk you through, I guess, the balance and the aiming points that he's taking, because you are right, it's very, very unusual. So, and while that's going on, young Gibson over there from Moonee Valley has played. He's played 2 absolute goals.
Gets up and about too.
Where's is he?
He's come across from Bundoora for this season. Was his first season with the Valley, I believe.
Yes.
I'm 99%.
Yes.
Sure. And Nathan Lynch gives that one the thumbs up for Jimmy Oliver. Absolute cracker of a game of bowls, says Brendan Elliott. Spot on, mate. Absolute cracker.
I think Will, in the last 3 or 4 ends, Tony, has really, really picked up his game.
Gone to another level, hasn't he?
And on cue.
And we're seeing this in this middle stages of each end. Essendon starts to crowd around it. They're holding a couple here. Jimmy Oliver with not a bad track in here, though. Oh, that's kind of summing up what's happening with the Valley. It's a whisker off perfect. Just sneaks through a gap. Bomber's still holding 2.
He couldn't have played it better, really, could he? I mean, that's the nature of bowls, and that's where it's important to not be despondent about that. You know, to keep putting your bowl in the right areas, because they've had some unfortunate results. There's no doubt about that. Played good bowls that haven't got the reward, but you know, in the same time as at Essendon are leaving such little margin for error, they've got to be perfect because that's what the opponent's doing.
Samantha Robinson saying, never change someone's delivery unless they ask for help. Spot on. Quite often we see coaches try and get involved for no real reason. player needs to identify themselves that they want to be better or they want to change something for whatever reason.
Yeah, good shot there from Phil. Well, I was speaking to Brendan Gallagher about this actually last night. We were just speaking about technique, the fundamentals of technique, making sure at point of delivery you're balanced and you're down, and keeping your follow through with a good integrity. And then ultimately, around those two things, do whatever you like.
Yeah.
You know, whatever works for you can be repeated. So
Whether we look at someone like a Jeremy Henry, Ian Taylor in years gone by, you don't necessarily have to do everything the same. It's what happens at the point of release.
Yep.
And as you say, there are constants and variables within everybody's technique. Might suit their body shape or size or height or whatever it may be.
Exactly right, and that's what makes our game so great. You know, you look at all of our top players, every single one of them has something that's unique to the way that they play. So,
as long as they do it the same.
Yes, consistency is key.
Braden Ellis. It's not a bad effort there, just finishes in behind.
I think it's 2 to Essendon here,
Yep.
Tony. And Thor's, I think Bull said to just draw another one in there, so he feels pretty comfortable with the shape of the head. Now trying to load up the head to give him more bowls in there.
You can almost follow the same route as what Jimmy Oliver did. Try and get through that little gap or rest on the first 2.
Yeah, it was a very good shot that probably got a bit of an unfortunate result because it has splashed that jack a little bit. A lot of confidence now for Braden to get through this with a little bit of pace. A lot of good options.
I don't know if it's moved to 3 shots now to the Bombers or it's still 2, but let's say it's 3.
Yeah, didn't like that one.
No, out of the hand, didn't like that one. He gives himself a little slap. It's all right. He'll be able to come back from there next end.
Well, that's what we've seen. You know, there's been very, very few, bowls that have been played in error, but each time there is the next end, they've corrected, they've adjusted. Each player's in the game. Very interested to see what Anthony's going to do here now, Tony. Can you tell me what's going through his head? He's got either 2 or 3. Back is 50-50, but the jack is exposed. What do we think he's going to do?
Well, I think he's going to continue playing the same shot that he called 𝗣𝗿𝘁 Shannon to play. I keep doing that. I do apologise.
I don't think he minds. I think he understands. He's just got to be so delicate, doesn't he? Because any jack movement isn't going to be good. It's interesting, isn't it? Because there's clearly, as we can see, this orange and blue bowl is clearly their best chance Moonee Valley to score here. Anthony was a little bit tentative in the way that he played that draw shot because he was worried, I think, about that jack going there. So, Blake
Man asking what the weather's like. You'll find out later today, Blake. You are on the live stream, mate. We are looking forward to a crack of a match in the Premier Division final. Speaking of cracker, Nathan Lynch gets the jack through.
There it is. There's the moment that we've been waiting for.
That's got the crowd back. 𝗍𝗿𝘁 was very quick to still put a finger up to say we've still got 1.
Oh, really?
So there you go.
So I saw Moonee Valley fingers pointing up as well, but I mean, we've got, 6 bowls there within a couple of inches.
There's a lot there.
So the decision now I think we're looking at is
whack or no whack.
Correct.
And Flapper getting down low to look at what angle this jack's potentially going to spit out at.
Is it going to get through? Is it going to jam? Where's the weighted numbers? Can all 3 bowls go?
I'm looking forward to seeing what he actually attempts here. Holding 1, is he concerned that a bit of touch on that jack's going to spit it back for the Valley boys to pick up a small number? There is an Essendon catcher there, so I don't think there's going to be too much danger of that.
But in his mind, is he thinking, he's got last bowl, Lynch has got last bowl as well. 1 down's not a bad result. So, if I smash this and something goes wrong and gives Lynch a chance to play at a number, that could change the game. So I think he's just going to play a draw shot and say we'll take 1 down or 1 up.
I'm struggling to see in that head how anybody's going to make a large number.
Exactly right. And I think that's probably what Anthony's thinking as well, is that if I crash this and I change the head, then I might expose myself to drop a number. In this instance, maybe I'm best just to take that 1 up or 1 down, whatever it might be. I think that's when last bowl becomes really important in decision making.
Yep. A little bit of weight here. Just wanted to splash through a little bit, trying to get the jack to go slightly back.
We're about to see.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Oh. And that was always the danger either way, so I don't think it changes too much. That'll be one to the Bombers. The jack moving slightly the other direction. Could have got one for the Valley boys, but one more to the Bombers. 12 shots in a row now.
It's unbelievable, isn't it, the way that's gone. From that, and we spoke about it, that 5 as being a turning point in the game.
Yep.
It ended up being a turning point for Essendon.
It did.
I mean,
really kicked him into gear.
It's quite amazing, really, when you think about it, how it's been 5 and then the next 12 on the trot. So
now here's the Paul Williamson feet set up and technique.
Let's have a look, Tony. So what do you make? So it's
quite spread apart, quite a wide, steady stance.
That front foot's really pointing down the direction of the line, which is good. They're very parallel with the feet, which is...
Yeah. The feet don't move right until the point of delivery. Yep. A little bit of Benny twist about some of the setup.
Well, there is. I think, the nature of the shooter stance, a lot of people have heard of, came to fashion probably, 10 to 15 years ago now, it was a while ago, which saw the back foot kind of angle in a different direction, where you see a real parallel stance, a lot of separation as well, but as you said, the deliberate front foot, like a Lee Trainer as well, that has that really small, deliberate front foot step. So I think that's probably where Willow is very deliberate about that small step, and then the transfer of weight happens because of the small step, allowing it to come through. Interestingly, the back leg is quite high, I don't know if you noticed, on release, so that's a little bit unusual. You'll see a lot of the other players get that back leg quite low, but he does have that wider stance, nice and balanced, and then the back leg does not quite get as low as some of the other players, so very consistent in what he's doing.
Yep. It looks the same every time. Blake Nan wondering if he has to pack a jacket. Oh, I don't think so, mate. The atmosphere will be amazing in here. It'll be very warm. Yeah, there we go. And that is what Paul Williamson can do. Suggests he doesn't need too much change in his delivery at all.
Yes.
Of course, the reigning Australian Fours champion.
Yeah, I think this would be a real challenge for Blake. I mean, he's obviously nowhere near as experienced as Willow, but the challenge for him now is that he's playing good. His opponent's probably playing better as it stands, and he's got to keep his head up. He's got to keep putting bowls in the area, and eventually it'll go his way. It doesn't help with Will's just come on fire.
His last 3 or 4 ends have been absolute A grade. Chris Crossley saying he has Parkinson's and the condition has progressed, so his delivery of the jack and bowl has changed. Yeah, that can often happen. So.
How interesting. How interesting.
Jimmy Oliver just puts his hand up for that one. Which I don't quite know why. I mean, it's a touch through, but it's not a bad home.
Well, I guess when the standard is like it is, everyone feels like they've got to kind of play the perfect bowl at every end, otherwise you're missing out. Well, every rink is now on 8 ends, so 27-31, 4 shots. Tony, don't know what you're doing or where you are, but if you're not coming down to Dandenong to watch the finish of this game, you're a fool. And if you're not watching on the live stream, if you can't get here, what are you doing on a Sunday night?
You can see quite a crowd there behind the head. You can see in that camera shot, it is getting pretty full up there behind us. In commentary, there's another probably 150 behind us as well, so maybe a few more.
That's just perfect for spectating because it's such a comfortable temperature and a good atmosphere.
And a great standard of bowls. You're very kind, Matty-O. You can tell us in the chat who won out of Warrnambool and Warrnambool City yesterday. They had a final down there, and Matty-O was down there on a couple of days off, and he's going to poke his head in and just see how that went.
Oh, what a great idea. Warrnambool City's the one with the
We played our state championships there, yes, in early 2021, the 2020 championships that were delayed due to COVID. 2 greens undercover. 3, well, they do have 4 greens. I'm not sure whether one of them's in use, but they're a nice club. Les Johnson telling us Warrnambool by 15 shots, so there you go.
There you go.
Thank you, Matty. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Les. Would have been a great atmosphere down there, no doubt.
Well, I also heard the rumour that played the Ocean Grove Forwards there last week, and they're getting 20 undercover rinks very shortly as well. So there's some serious bowls facilities popping up across Victoria.
Yeah, there certainly are.
Braden
Ellis.
The hat's gone off. Oh, it stayed on a little bit. That's a cracking shot.
Yeah, it's half a hat off, isn't it? I mean,
well, you couldn't ask for more than that from your third, couldn't you? I mean, that is a corker. And the call there from Thor was a sit or trail, so he's going to give this a real chance. Get up through the jack. Looks just a fraction wide for the speed. But again, finishing in a beautiful home. And interested to see what the call there was from Lynch. It looked like he was saying just past the jack, but I'm presuming it's going to be a similar shot to Thor's, that just trailing the jack, trying to tuck it away from the Williamson bowl. Big moment in this game. If he can execute a shot, I think the Valley boys might get a little bit excited.
so I couldn't quite hear it myself, but apparently the bell just rang.
Oh, did it?
Yep, which means at the conclusion of this end, players will take a 10-minute break.
So we're getting ready for your joke, are we?
Yeah, 10 minutes of withering insults or something.
Braden. Oh, what an effort. And he's got it.
Yep.
He's got it.
2 good bowls from Braden. He's giving him a little bit of confidence coming into the break.
Well, we just spoke about it, didn't we? How the previous end, he was disappointed with his second one, and we said the standard of this game, he'll bounce back, and he's put 2 bowls within 6 inches. So that's not a bad bounce back there, Tony. And the Valley guys...
The Valley just started to find a little bit of voice here. Some of the Melbourne boys in behind there watching. I can see Cactus, Benny Fern,
yes.
Alex Skilton, Curtis Hanley.
Well, of course, Fisher and Sims and Bevo and a lot of these guys had very good careers at Melbourne, winning premierships, so there's a lot of friendship still there.
Absolutely. Carl Keegan saying Warrnambool won divs 1, 2 and 3. That's a fair old effort, isn't it? And Dunkeld getting divvy 4, so well done, Dunkeld.
Yes.
Which is Buzz's club. Chris Burrell, I think he was in the chat earlier.
Oh, he's a funny man, Buzz.
He is.
He's a funny man.
I think he was down at Ocean Grove in that tournament. Might have run 3rd or something, maybe. Or did I make that bit up?
I think he might have made... Look, he may have. I must admit, I can't recall. Oh, what an effort.
Well played, Ant Flapper. Don't know whether that changes much, but there are 4 within a dinner plate here, so...
Yeah, I still think it's 1 to Valley.
Yep.
But... I really have no idea, Tony, to be honest with you. They're all very, very close.
Well, from the reaction of Braden Ellis' last bowl, I favour you right. But the problem is, how do they... Well, they can't roll the front bowl of Braden Ellis' up and over because that'll tip the jack back to Essendon. So you can see them looking over this head just thinking, well, how does this work?
Well, yeah, you're right. It probably goes back to what we were speaking about before with Anthony, is sometimes... You know, dropping 1 isn't a bad thing. But I think the nature of the way that Nathan plays, he's going to try and make something happen here, and I love that.
Josh Rennicks comes over from a couple of rinks over to hand the bowl to Nathan Lynch. Well, he is playing for this, so the line is pretty good, asking for it to be nice.
Yep,
it looks pretty nice.
I love the enjoyment that happened there on Jimmy's face when that result came off. It was just absolute joy.
Do you know, in all of this, as much as this has been a 12-shot turnaround since a 6-0 lead to the Valley, they still hold the overall lead by 5. So Nathan Lynch and his rink will walk into the break going, we need to turn this around, and everyone else will be, well, we're going okay. So might relieve a little bit of pressure on them.
Yeah, that scoreboard pressure, isn't it? I mean, you're exactly right. If there's another rink that's dropping 9 shots in a row, suddenly the entire approach to the game, we need to start scoring. Whereas you're quite right. They can say, well, let's just hang in there. You know, let's just make sure we keep it tight. Let's drop ones. You know, let's make sure we master the second shot. But I think there's one thing we know, Tony, is in the next 12 ends on each rink, there's going to be twists and turns at every point.
Absolutely. Blake Nairn just confirming that they definitely didn't get third for Chris Burrell's rink. But Buzz did say he played a ripper last bowl in that last game. So
he's one of the funniest men going around. He loves his bowls. He brings energy to it. It's great.
A good fun time at that tournament.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't recall him winning too many games, but they go all right.
I was just trying to talk the boy up. Gee. I had your back, Buzz. So no change with that one. So sits in not a bad spot.
This is a big decision here from Nathan. Key, they've got to keep one. To me, I think this is easy. We'll take one and walk away. Scoreboard's going well. Get to the break, winning the end. Come back with the mat. Absolute paramount. There is obviously a shot. That is to land the yellow. And with that all being said, they took quite done that.
So that's, I think, the smart way to do it. So we'll just confirm that, but it looks like it was just the one. So 12-7 on this rink. That was gone 6-0 and then lost 12 shots in a row, and they pick up one just before the break. I actually think both teams might be happy enough to see the break here.
I think the only ones that aren't happy enough to see the break is you and I in commentary and the viewers at home, because we can't get enough of it.
I'd be happy if these guys continue to play all day, to be honest, the way it's been going. They have all been terrific.
Interesting, again, to look at the difference in the two teams. So we've got Flapper, who's with his rink, and they're doing some real debrief. And the Moonee Valley boys are kind of talking to the mates at the back and watching the next rink. So it's just interesting watching the different styles of play out.
Let's see if we can just pan a camera over to the head next door, which is Dylan Fisher, who's just putting his bowl down now. He's up against Rob McMullen. Bradley Gibson, a couple of rinks over, is up and about too.
He's on fire over there.
Taylor Mail still has a bowl to come, so we'll see. So we'll follow the conclusion of these last couple of ends before the break. So Moonee Valley pick up shots on the Brad Gibson rink. Look to be 2. Yeah. Yep, confirmed as 2.
Well, a bit like this rink, but the other way. I think Mail was he was 6-1 up.
Yep, spot on.
And is now 8-6 down.
So that's also interesting going into this break. We've seen Nathan Lynch pick up a single here. We've seen Bradley Gibson pick up a couple. Well, McMullen is up to the task, so he halves the jack over to Hill waiting Essendon bowl. Dylan Fisher wants to come down and have 9-shot lead to Moonee Valley.
Yeah, this has been a really good last end before the break for Valley. I mean, I think it was 4 up, should I say, and now they've just stretched it to 9 over a couple of rinks. So It's exactly what you want to do going into a break. Win those last ends and give yourself a bit more of a buffer. With that being said, Fisher's got a big shot here last bowl, a toucher. If it's not, it is right on the edge, so he wants to be very careful with his weight, doesn't he?
Can't afford to lose that, absolutely. So he looks to, I mean, it is a fair way away from us, but he looks like he's sort of got 12 to 18 inches to draw within for a second